Think we're live. Hello, 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 hello. I'm just finalizing my settings. I think we're live. All right. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. If you're just coming out, this is Built for More with Matt Miller. And as we did promise last time, we are going live on to continue our conversation that we started some time back. All right. Hey, thank you. Thanks for joining. Eat for Live. I see you. Thank you so much. All right. So I'll take it very quickly while the others come. I will wait for them to join in. I will like to start so that I don't keep anyone waiting. Last time we had this live, and we focused on honesty. Or we focused our topic around last time was around honesty, and I did make mention that what we're doing, the reason for this live is to kind of buttress more on what we agree on the videos that I share on my YouTube channel. Right? We've been about. Thank you so much, Eat for Life. Yeah, we've been about trying to understand basically a couple of stuff around why do we at the end of every year come out the same even after haven't lived that life. It's like every year we come out the same. It is the same result, always the same result. So I started thinking about these things to say, why is it happening? Because now being around the end of the year, this is a great time to start thinking about that. Being around the end of the year, it became Matev's called hello, hi, thanks for joining. So it's around a very good time for us to start thinking about that. So that led me to this thought, this pattern to say, hey, why is it that every year we get the same result, and at the same time we do the same thing, at the same time, and we expect a different result down the line. So I started looking at it. I was like, okay, so I think that the issue is that basically we are humans, and being humans, we are product of patterns. We follow patterns. And if a pattern is not confronted, you will always get the same results that you've been getting. So as you join, just let us know where you're joining from and all that. So that led to this live. And I started with the first point I talked about. And please, I want you to, this is a thinking session, right? It's a we talk here, we think, we try to get things going the right way. The first point is honesty. I did reiterate that you have to be honest with yourself. At every point in time, you have to be honest with yourself. Like, if you, um, thank you so much, Eat for Life, for joining us from Ohio. Thank you so much. If you want to get results, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to know exactly where you're standing, and you have to know what are the issues confronting you at that point. So that was the first live, and we had a recording on that. So if you want to hear more about that, you go see our YouTube channel. You have that. But today, I want to follow up on honesty. I want to follow up on honesty, and what better way to follow up than, or better topic to follow up than planning? Now you're being honest with yourself. You know where you stand. You know exactly your point. What is the next thing? The best next thing to do is to start planning. And the topic I chose today is you don't drift into the life you want. You design it. You don't drift into the life you want. You don't just move into the life, oh, I like this life, so I'll just drift into it. No way. You design the life you want. All right. You are the architect of your life. You are the dawn. You in short, everything about you, everything about architecture when it comes to your life, it is in your hand. And A very big part of it, of this, we've been saying that God is not in charge. God has given you the power to make your life what you want to make of it. All right. God has already delegated that power to you. And we talked about the law of responsibility. God will not do what you will not do for yourself. God will not do it for you. All right. Let's stick to our discourse for tonight. Planning. Um, Honesty without direction, we did say, becomes frustration. Right? You're honest. All right, you know where you stand, you know who you are, but there's no direction. Then that leads to frustration. Truth without a plan becomes anxiety. You've seen, oh, that I am this person. I don't have what I don't have. I'm being truthful to myself. If there is no plan after that, what follows is anxiety. You become anxious. You get to the point where everything becomes you now start adopting this victim mentality, because now you already know now that, okay, I can't get this done. This is where I stand. I made a mistake. This is where I stand. Oh, I'm making a mistake. This is where I stand. I can't get this done by myself. All right. So the issue now becomes, what do I do next? There needs to be a plan. Like I always say with the life, I'm not here to motivate you. Tonight is not about motivation. I want you to get that clear. And I'm not here to pressure you either. It is not about pressure. No. And I'm not here to rush you. So it's not about motivation. It's not about pressure. And I'm not here to rush you. I'm here to help for you to see that you have to design your life. You are the architect of your life. I'm here to help you see that. All right. Now you're like, hey, Matt, how will you say you're here to help me see that? Because I was also helped to see that my life, it is in my hands to design it. It's in my hand to choose what I want. And not just choosing what I want, but to follow through. All right, let's go straight. Now, a very big question that came to my mind while looking at this topic is this. Why is it that most people stop at honesty? Why do most people actually stop at honesty and not move forward? This is something a lot of people, we don't like talking about, right? You get honest with yourself. You know exactly what your life is. You know where you're going to stand, where you are at that point in time, and then you stop. If you do that, you're not getting any result. You're not going to get a result. You just know, but you're not moving forward. People admit they're unhappy, or you hear that every day. You go to social media, you see a lot of comments. People are going live. They're not happy. People admit they're stuck. I hear that even in the office, place of work. I hear people say, "Oh man, I'm stuck." People admit they're tired. That is a norm. People admit they're tired. They admit something is not working right. You see people saying, I could tell something is not working right. My gut feeling says something is not working right. But they never move to the next level. The next level is planning. The reason is this: planning is scarier than honesty. I repeat again, to plan is more scary than honesty. Let me explain that. Honesty, all right, so I can hear that. If for like that, we often make other things priority. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Thank you for that. Honesty says, this is where I am. Honesty will say, this is where I am. So I know exactly my guardrails. But planning say, this is where I am going. All right. Honesty tells you where you are right now, your environment, where you're standing. But planning tells you where you're going to. And direction creates accountability. Direction creates accountability. In the topic, I said, don't drift, right? Now, if you look at drifting, most of us know drifting in sports. Drifting is just, you just move, you just glide. In this discourse, drifting here is more like a lot of people are wasting their lives. I'm sorry, it's very unfortunate, but a lot of people are wasting their lives. Nobody plans to waste their life. Let's be real with ourselves. Nobody plans to waste their life. Nobody wakes up and says, I want to look back in 10 years and feel regret. Nobody does that. Nobody says, I want to, you know what, I want to look back in 10 years and feel regret. No, nobody does that. People don't plan to drift. Please get. I want you to get the sequence. People don't plan to drift. They just plan never to. They never plan not to. That is to say, the absence of planning not to drift makes them drift. It's very important. I want you to get this point very, very, very important. We did say honesty is a very big thing, right? Honesty makes you, it brings you into a position of awareness so you know exactly where you are. Now, we said that's not enough. To get results, you need to move a step further. That is where planning comes into place. Now, for planning, it's a case of if you don't plan, you've actually planned to fail. People don't plan, they plan, oh, they don't plan, they don't want to drift, right? But actually, they are planning in the reverse to drift. Drift feels harmless. Drift feels spiritual. Drift feels patience. Now, those are three strong words. Drift feels harmless. Why? What you know, you like to stay in the perimeter of what you know. What is not known, what is unknown, I'll leave it where it is. I prefer to remain where I am, what I know. All right? Drift feel spiritual. Oh, in this day and age, a lot of people are thinking everything they want to think is this is what God has willed. We stamp the name of God on every decision we refuse to make. We stamp the name of God on it. And that is where religion comes into the picture. And if you've been following my YouTube channel, you'll see that we've been talking a lot about religion, religion being a bane, religion being used as a means to keep you where you are. All right? Drift feels patient. Somebody will say, oh, I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to rock the boat. I just want to go. I just want to keep on going. I just want to do my thing. You don't know you're just drifting. But drift is dangerous. When you don't choose a direction, life chooses one for you. When you don't write a plan, circumstances write one for you. Ever have a friend? Have you ever had a friend that came around and was like, hey, let's go out today? If on your own you had no plan, you had nothing in mind, the tendency to go out with your friend is very high. The truth is that that's how we are programmed. The tendency to move out with your friend or go go to the field with your friend is very high, simply because you had no plan of your own. So you were just drifting all through the day. The same thing with life. If you're directionless, there is no direction, life will choose one for you, or life will definitely choose one for you. Social media could be a, a drift for you. Watching the latest movie could be a drift for you. Going to the mall and strolling aimlessly could be a drift for you. Not taking time to plan could be a drift for you. Right? And we did say when you don't write a plan, circumstances will. In one of my videos, we talked about health. I can remember one of the illustrations we did. You don't wait until you get broken down before you start living healthy. So even in that aspect, I'm also a victim of it. I am also a victim of it. I'm also trying to make sure every day I live healthy, live better than how I used to. But it is a conscious effort because if we don't do it, if we don't try to live healthy, you might not get the results today, but the possibility that you get it down the line is huge. All right. Now, why is it that planning feels uncomfortable? Why? Why is it that people don't like to plan? Let me tell you why planning makes people uncomfortable. This is very straightforward. Planning make things real. Planning make things real. Like I've told you in one of my videos, I did make mention that this year I learned a lot about myself financially. I learned how to deal with my finance more and better this year. All right. So what did that do for me? That is honesty. I'm being honest with myself. Now, going forward, I've learned okay, what not to do so that I stay in a better position going forward. That is a plan. I have it on paper. This is things I won't do. These are things I won't get into because these are financial devourers. I don't need a prophet to tell me that. I know that. I've learned that myself. Planning make things real. You can daydream without responsibility. You build castles in the sky. You think, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that, I want to do that, I want to do that. There is no responsibility attached to that at all. That's daydreaming. It's okay, you can daydream. There's no responsibility attached to that. You can pray without accountability, and a lot of people do that. In one of my videos, I talked about this. A lot of people pray without accountability because you just pray and you expect God to answer. And I even dare say that a lot of people pray without even knowing what they're praying for. You just go to church or you go to mosque or you go to your temple, whatever you do, you just go and pray because others are praying. Now you don't have yardstick. You don't say, okay, you don't even look back. Did God answer my prayer or not? We just pray. Now the reason why people do that is because there's no accountability. They're okay with that. It's not real. You can hope without action. That's a big one. I did a video called, I titled it The Weaponization of Hope. It's on my YouTube channel. You can hope without action. You can just sit down and, oh, I wish I have the monies of, I wish I have the dollars of, what's his name? Elon Musk. I wish my second name, I wish my last name is Musk. I wish I am a Bill Gates son or a Bill Gates relative. That's hope. That's hope. Wow, Ichola is saying, since I've been watching your videos, I like to see that. I like to see that. Let me see that. 1 second, please, guys. Since I've been watching your videos and taking your advice and planning, I've been moving closer and closer to reaching my goals, actually seeing the progress. Thank you so much, Infolife. Thank you so much for that. All right. Now, you can hope and live in that realm because in that realm, there's no action. It is all hope. But when you write something down, you confront fear. When you write it down, you confront fear. That's you looking at fear eyeball to eyeball and saying, this thing, I'm not going to repeat it again. I'm not. I'm not going to repeat it again. You confront limits. You confront time. I dare say, write things down and put a date. Write things down, put a date. You don't have to know how these things will work out. Just do your part and keep on working towards where you're working. Planning forces you to admit you don't have forever. Oh, I like that. I like that. Now, when you plan, it makes you know, it puts you in the spot. You know that, hey, I don't have till the end of life. Everything is a phase. I am moving. So planning forces you to admit that, oh, you need to do things in brackets, in time chunks. You need to put things down on paper. Oh, thank you so much, Eat for Life. Like you have a notebook for daily to put dates and what you're going through. That is great. That's a great way to do it. That's a great way to do it. Planning makes you do that. So you create plans, you start having paper. Like personally, I'm always on my laptop and I'm always on the Mac. So I always have use my notepad to write down things. I go to church, I see things happening, I write it down on my notepad and it's synced up across all my iCloud, right? So I have those details to look to fall back on and say, what am I doing about this? That alone is the reason why people avoid planning. A lot of people avoid planning because planning makes them know that they don't have forever. People like to think that they have forever. So they like to live in illusion. People just like to live in illusion that, oh, I have forever. But when they plan, it makes them know, oh, you don't have it. You don't have forever. So just know that. All right. So planning makes you know that. Now, in this case, let's actually redefine planning a bit. All right. Planning is not control. No, planning is not control. Planning is clarity. Planning is not arrogance. Planning is stewardship. Very important. Planning does not limit God. Planning gives your life language. One of the big things I talked about in one of my videos is God is not afraid when you plan. God is not afraid when you plan. And God is not afraid when you ask questions because He had given you the mind to ask questions. If God does not want us to ask questions or make plans, God would not have given us a mind. He would have made us a robot. So He would just download everything to us. He gave us a mind because He wants us to use it. It is not for decoration. I always say that. So any entity that tells you not to use your mind, or any organization that discourages the usage of your mind, what they're trying to do is captivity, put you under control. All right, I did make mention about that in my one of the videos in my YouTube channel. So yeah, God respects it when you plan. God expects you to plan. He expects you to plan. All right, like I said, tonight is not about building a perfect life. I'll be far from that if I say that. Tonight is not about building a perfect life at all. It is about building an intentional life. I'm very big on being intentional. In all my videos, you always hear that language, being intentional, not being perfect. Because an unplanned life becomes heavy. Oh, that's tough. An unplanned life becomes heavy. An unclear life becomes anxious. An unclear life, as in hazy life, becomes anxious. And a drifting life becomes exhausting. I'll take those points again. An unplanned life becomes heavy. An unclear life becomes anxious. A drifting life becomes exhausting. Let's talk about these roadmaps. Like you always know on my channel, I always give some roadmaps or steps that helps you move forward. I put down 3 roadmaps here. The roadmap number 1 is identity. So before you plan what you want to do, you must plan who you are becoming. Who are you becoming? In one of my videos, I talked about becoming, right? Every life's outcome is sustained by identity. Do you really know where you want to go to? Do you have a plan? Do you have a picture? Do you have an image in your mind? Or better still, these days you hear people talk about vision boards. Do you have a vision board? Do you have a vision board? Who are you becoming? Who are you becoming? All right. If your identity doesn't change, your result won't either. If your identity doesn't change, your result will not change. That's a big one. So ask yourself, who must I become for the life I say I want? Who must I become for the life I say I want? Now, there's something I personally do. Before I think of what do I do to achieve it, I first of all create the picture. So what you want to achieve is not always the first thing for me personally. I first of all create the picture of what do I want? Who do I want to become? Roadmap number 2, direction. Now let's talk about direction for a second. Thank you so much for joining. As you join, please hit the like button so that we just keep on going. Thank you so much. Now let's talk about direction for a moment. Direction doesn't mean knowing everything. It's very important. Direction doesn't mean knowing everything. No. Direction means knowing the next right thing. It's like climbing the staircase. You don't need to see the end of the rung or the last stairs before you climb. No. What you just need to see is the next step before you. That is how direction is likened. You don't need to know everything before you move. And if you do, then it's a movie. It's not real. Life doesn't work that way. What you need to know is what is the next right thing that I need to do before I move. So once you know the next right thing, you just do it and you start moving. All right. Direction brings clarity, and clarity reduces anxiety. Most people are overwhelmed because they want a full map. They want to know everything from the beginning to the end before they start moving. But life only requires the next step. So roadmap number 3, discipline, very important. I did a video called "Discipline is what you need, not motivation." So if you have not seen that, please look at my YouTube channel. You will see that video. Now, let's talk about discipline for one bit. Discipline is not punishment. No, it's not. Discipline is protection. What you make consistent determine what becomes permanent. I'll take that again. I'm being very deliberately slow on that. What you make consistent determines what becomes permanent. So when you are working on an idea, on a thought, the more you stay on that thought, the more you stay on that idea, the more clarity you start getting. I said, if everything is negotiable, nothing changes. There are some things that you shouldn't negotiate. They are not even negotiable at all. Just move on. Just move on. Like I did say, I asked a question in one of my live. If nothing changes in your life today, why are you expecting the result to change? Your life is not changing. You're not doing anything about that. Why are you expecting the results to change? If you're doing that, you're just being a fool. I'm sorry to say, but you're just being a fool. There's something sacred about writing. As we're talking planning, there's something sacred about writing. I used to hear this, I've forgotten how it used to be put. I think one of my bosses or one of my lecturers was the one that used to tell us this in school. I've forgotten, I'm trying to remember. He does say, oh, I get it now. A short pen, a short pen is better than a long memory. He always says that. Yeah, a short pen is better than a long memory. Write something down. A paper can hold what your mind cannot. It's not that your mind cannot, your mind is full of thoughts. So things are running through your mind every day. So you might definitely, or you will definitely forget that thought and move on to something else. So write it down. Your mind is for creativity, not for carrying the weight of your future. No, your mind doesn't carry the weight of your future. Your mind is for creativity. The mind is always creative. So if a thought comes to your mind and it's a thought to be worked on, put it down on paper. As at that point, it might be vague, it might be unclear, but vague anxiety becomes direction. Whatever comes to your mind as you're making plan for the new year, put it down on paper. Be the one that writes things down. I want you to imagine 1 year from now. 1 year from now, just an imagination, not 10 years, not 5 years, 1 year from now. What must be different for you to feel peace? What must be different for you to feel peace? Just imagine, this is an exercise we will do. 1 year from now, what must be different in your life for you to feel peace? Now, choose only 3 areas. Let's say health, um, finances, personal growth. And these are 3 areas. Of these areas, don't write fantasies. I don't believe in fantasies. Don't write fantasies. Write down realities, like real things that must be different in your life in these 3 areas: health, finances, personal growth. What does better actually mean to you? And what must become consistent for that to happen? Now, I'm asking a lot of questions at the same time. So let's take it back a little bit. What must be different, all right, in 1 year from now for you to feel peace? Let's not go, I don't want to go the route of 5 years or 10 years or no, 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 no. I want to stay close. In 1 year from now, what must be different for you to feel peace? I'm not taking a lot of areas. Let's take only three: health, finance, and personal growth. Then write the things down. Write it down on paper. On these 3 areas, write what must be different for you to feel peace in 1 year. On these 3 areas, write it down on paper. Now, what I'm telling you to do, most people online now and those that will see this stream later, most people will not do it because the issue of planning, once they write it down, they become accountable. And the human doesn't want to be. He wants to live his life the way he wants. All right. Now, you don't need a perfect plan. You don't need a perfect plan. No, you don't. You need a direction you are willing to commit to. When I started this YouTube thing, I never had a plan. Seriously, I don't even think till date I have a perfect plan. I don't think so. What I just know is that I have a direction and I'm committed to it. It used to be one video per week. Then it moved to about two videos per week and a lot of shots. Then I was like, you know what? Let's start coming live. Let's start buttressing more on what the videos are. Because most of the time, the video looks more like these are prepared talk. Let's come live and have conversation that are heart to heart based on what we'll be talking about. Now, that is a direction I am committing to. I also want you to choose a direction that you need to commit to. You need a direction you're willing to commit to. And momentum, I've always said this, momentum comes from movement, not from perfection. You might come across this video and you're like, hey Matt, you don't know all the different stuff about life, how no, I don't need to know all the stuff. What I just need to know right now is putting out the message the way it is in my heart. And the more I do it, the more it gets better. That's how it is. The more I do it, the more it gets better. Actually, YouTube sends me a message, and YouTube said, Matt, start going live. That even if there's nobody watching your live, keep on going live. That's what YouTube sent to me. They said the account officer said your message needs to be heard. Your message needs to be out there more, and it needs to be heard. And your message is not for a day. So don't think about going live for one day and don't get discouraged if nobody's online. Go live and see people online. That is direction. That guy is trying to nudge me in, commit to this and move in that direction. Also to you, do you want to be healthy? Is health a thing of concern to you? Choose a direction and commit to it. Your plan must not be perfect. It mustn't be perfect. A simple plan will do. A very simple plan will do. But make sure that simple plan is executed properly. A well executed simple plan will beat a perfectly avoided plan or a perfect plan that was avoided. Let me put it in a better way. A simple plan that is well executed will always trump a perfect plan that was never executed. So you don't need a perfect plan from day one. Never. A simple plan is all you need. A simple one. Now let me say something gently here. Your future self is depending on you. Very important. You've always heard me say it on my videos. Your future self is depending on you. One day you'll be older. One day you'll be quieter. One day you'll be slower. You know, and you look back at this season. You look back at your life, and your future will have just two things to tell you. Either of this. Thank you for preparing for me? Or why didn't you care enough to plan? Your future will tell you one of these two things. And the truth of the matter is that people run away from planning because they don't want to face this fact that one day they will get to the point where they'll be slower, where they'll be older. You can't run to the airport anymore and just jump into the flight. You can't run into your car anymore the way you used to. You are slower now. Age is telling on you. You can't take things the way you used to. You can't even go to work anymore. That's your future catching up with you. And your future will tell you straight to your face either thank you for planning for me, or why didn't you plan? If you want to know more about this, talk to the guys that are selling insurance. They will tell you more about planning for your future self. But it is real. Though they are selling insurance, but it is real. You have to plan. You can't live thinking that life is going to remain the same way like this. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You have to plan. And you have to plan for your future self. You don't drift into the life you want. You design it. You are the architect of your life. You are the Michelangelo of your life. It is in your hand to say what you want and do what you want and build what you want. The design starts with honesty. Honesty, like we did say from the beginning, is knowing where you are right now. The question is, where am I? Like right now, where am I? So that's honesty. You're honest with yourself. You know exactly where you are right now. And it's completed with planning. So when you know where you are, the next thing is to plan. Where am I going to be? Or where do I want to be? Writing your life down is an act of love. Writing down things on paper, your life. Oh, in the next 1 year, I want to do this, do that, elsewise. It's an act of love because it keeps you in accountability. So, like I always do, I put such things in places I can always see. So that's why my laptop is more like that. My laptop has a lot of stuff about me that I've written down, like because I'm always working with it. It's an act of love. Writing your life down says, I care enough to be intentional. I'm not just living life day by day. I'm being very intentional. Now, I want to close with this. It's been a while here, guys. And so thank you so much for your time. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for sticking around. And if you're going to watch this later, thank you too for watching. Please let us know your thoughts. Like I always do say on my videos, my thoughts are not they're not final. No, they're not. We're learning. We're all learning. We're all in the process of learning. I mean, I've said something that you don't agree with. Don't swallow it. Don't condemn me with that. No, you can write under the video. You can comment under the video. I'm going to reply back to it. That's for sure. So after this live ends now, don't rush. If you're here, don't rush. Sit quietly for some time. If I were you, I'll take one page, one note. Write down who you're becoming. If you've not done that before, write down who you're becoming. Write where you're going. Write what must become consistent. Very important. Who am I becoming? Where am I going? What must become consistent? Now, you don't need to impress anyone. You don't. This is between you and your future self. All right. This channel is built for more. Built for more doesn't mean louder, it means deliberate, it means intentional. And tonight, you started designing your life. Go ahead, be intentional about it. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, friends, for sticking by. Thank you for your support. Now, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, like our videos, comment under the videos, let us know your thoughts. And also, if you have all my permission, you can share. Keep on sharing. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions that comes to mind, you can drop me a note. We can discuss that. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sticking by. We'll be live again a couple of days from now. I'm going to get out a flyer. Then we'll see how it goes from there. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye for now.